Hey there, welcome to Sumit Academy and to my series on the art of essay writing. I do hope that you have subscribed to my channel. No? Then please do so now and press the subscribe button. This is the 11th video in my series on the art of composing an essay. We now come to the final part of our essay, the conclusion. We will attempt to find out the exact function of the conclusion, knowing what to include and exclude, and making clear and convincing points to conclude our essay. The end of our essay is a stage where we need to round off our writing with a strong and clear ending. You have to conclude by explaining what the original title, the original question was, how you explored it, and what you discovered. Besides giving a sense of rounding off your essay, conclusions have various other functions like summarizing your main points. You need to provide an overview of the ideas in the main body of your essay. Realizing your argument, your conclusion should provide the last stage of your argument. It is the realization or deduction where you show what you are stating is based on logical development of what you have already written. If your essay title asks you to express your views about a topic, you should include those in your conclusion. If, for example, you are asked to evaluate or assess the worth of an idea or action, you need to ensure that you present your response in the conclusion. No matter what the nature of your essay, you must incorporate two main aspects. That is, summarizing the ideas in the essay and making an evaluation, judgment, or final comment on what you have presented. Your conclusion should always be more than a mere summary of the essay. The evaluation or critical comment is always required, and the summary is generally part of this process. Make sure that you actually do reach some kind of conclusion. If you think that you cannot resolve the issues raised, you need to state what your reservations are. You should make suggestions to solve the problem rather than by merely stating that you cannot reach a conclusion at all. So, what do you include in your conclusion and what do you exclude? A common misconception among candidates is to think that examiners are impressed to see the evidence of all the reading and research they have done around the essay topic. In fact, candidates presenting their work that doesn't link to the topic is quite irritating. Your conclusion should be precise and directly linked to your essay title. We now come to leaving out new ideas in the conclusion. Never introduce a new idea in your conclusion. If the idea is an interesting one, is a vital aspect of your essay, you should feature it early on and investigate and write on it properly. Sometimes candidates save up a great idea for the end as a kind of dramatic effect. The other common reason for introducing something new in the conclusion is to do with poor time management and last minute desperation. Sometimes candidates are just about finished their essay when they discover that they have omitted an important point, or they suddenly come across a great idea in their reading. Now, this reads as rushed and betrays a lack of forethought and attention to detail. You need to check your conclusion carefully to ensure that it is well written, accurate, relevant, and concise. In order to present a great conclusion, Plan an outline of what you need to include. This helps you avoid drifting off the topic and ensures that you write a pithy and concise finish to the essay. Your conclusion should have a distinct and clear tone, but it should not be markedly different from the rest of your essay. You need to present an assured, convincing quality of writing that strikes the right balance between too reticent and overconfident. While you can point out some of the limitations in your essay, do not be apologetic. You need to show that your essay is making a small contribution to the discussion, but you should not excuse yourself for aspects that you have deliberately not covered. What you are trying to accomplish is a sense of ending and finality. Return to the topic, reinforcing its value. Mention the context of the work and show how your journey through the argument has clarified the discussion. Showing where you have contributed your own ideas or examples and how you have refined your existing thoughts. Let us move on to getting the length of our conclusion just about right. Like the introduction, your conclusion forms about 10% of your essay. Now, this is just a guide, so do not stick to it rigidly if your essay meets the requirement better with a slightly longer or shorter conclusion. If your conclusion is very short, you could not have included all the elements of your essay. If your conclusion is too long, you need to cut out anything extraneous or unnecessary. Some typical extras that candidates often include unnecessarily are firstly, too much repetition. While you need to refer to the title, you need not write the whole thing verbatim or word for word. Secondly, mention of references. You should cover these through your text and not in your conclusion. Thirdly, too much personal opinion. Sometimes candidates present what they think about a topic in the conclusion, which becomes like reading a stream of consciousness passage with everything they have thought about the topic presented in a long, unstructured paragraph. So keep your opinion brief and unobtrusive. Do not let your conclusion contradict all the evidence you have gathered and presented. In the process of your writing, you should think ahead of your conclusion. Try to avoid raising rhetorical questions in your conclusion because they weaken your essay and makes you sound ambiguous. You need to get up the fence and project your opinion. Well, so much for how to write the conclusion to our essay. In our next video, which will be the 12th and final video in our series on the art of essay writing, we shall study on how to write an essay in an examination environment. In the meantime, try writing out the conclusion of the 8 essays I had given you in my earlier video on writing the introduction. And do look out for my other videos on essay writing. I do hope that you have subscribed to my channel. Do subscribe now so that you don't miss out on my future videos. In case you want to give a feedback or suggest future videos, do write in to sumitacademy20@gmail.com. Till later then, cheers.